Los Angeles never sleeps. Not really. The city hums, with traffic, with dreams, with people chasing something they're not sure they will ever catch. And on most nights, somewhere between the dreams and the disappointments, Luis Alvarez rode his fading black motorcycle down Sunset Boulevard, carrying somebody's dinner in a warming bag strapped to his back. He was a delivery rider, one of thousands. A face in a helmet. A man people only saw when they opened their door to grab their food. But he had a story even if the world didn't ask for it. Luis was 26. An immigrant. A man who had crossed the border at 17 with nothing but a backpack and a sister's phone number. In the 8 years since, he had worked every kind of job Los Angeles offered to men who didn't have papers, connections, or a safety net. He had dreams, but they'd been postponed so many times, they now felt like old souvenirs. He lived in a shared room with two other guys. If you stood on his street corner at night, you could see the bright towers of downtown LA far away, the places he wasn't allowed to enter. The places where the wealthy lived, worked, and never had to check their bank app before buying something. And inside one of those towers lived Ava Kingsley, a name that opened doors before she even knocked. She was 24, brilliant, and already a rising star in a tech company that created virtual workspaces for global corporations. Her father was a Hollywood lawyer. Her mother, a retired actress. Her building had a private gym, a rooftop pool, and a lobby so elegant it looked like a hotel. To Luis, people like Ava lived in another universe. But fate is strange. Unequal love stories don't begin with equality. They begin with collision. And their collision started on a cold, rainy Tuesday night. Luis had accepted a delivery order to a penthouse on Grand Avenue. He almost rejected it. It was too far, too high up, and the traffic was awful, but he needed the money. Rent was due soon. By the time he reached the building, his jacket was soaked. He waited in the lobby, dripping water on the polished marble floor, while the security guard eyed him as if he were a stray dog. Then the elevator opened, and she stepped out. Ava wore gray sweatpants, a loose hoodie, and her hair was tied up in a messy bun. She didn't look like a rich girl at that moment. She looked exhausted, human. She smiled the softest smile when she saw him. "I'm so sorry," she said, breathless. "I must have clicked the wrong delivery instructions. I didn't mean to make you come all the way up." "It's okay," Luis replied, lowering his helmet. "It's my job." She reached for the food, but her hands were full of folders, so she nearly dropped everything. Luis caught the top folder before it fell. Their eyes met, just for a second. Ava noticed the tiredness in his face, the rain on his cheeks, the trembling of his fingers. "Have you eaten tonight?" she asked softly. Luis blinked, surprised. Not yet," he admitted. Ava hesitated, then opened the food bag and took out one of the containers. "Please take this," she said. "I ordered too." He wanted to decline. Pride is heavy even when a man is starving. But her eyes were kind. Not pity, just kindness. "Thank you," he whispered. She nodded once, shyly, then disappeared into the elevator. That was supposed to be the end. One moment of softness between strangers. But life had other plans. 3 weeks later, Ava was walking home after a late virtual meeting when she heard footsteps behind her. Fast footsteps, aggressive. Before she could turn, a man grabbed her purse and shoved her against a wall. Ava screamed. And somewhere at the end of the street, Luis, who had just completed a delivery, heard her voice. He didn't think. He just ran. The thief dragged Ava toward an alley, but Luis tackled him, sending both men crashing into trash bins. The thief punched Luis hard in the stomach and ran off with nothing. Luis groaned and staggered up. Ava was shaking uncontrollably. "Are you hurt?" he asked. "No," she whispered, tears in her eyes. "But are you okay?" "My ribs will survive." She laughed weakly from shock. Then she noticed his torn jacket and the bruises already forming on his cheek. She insisted on taking him upstairs to her penthouse to clean the wounds. He protested, but she wasn't taking no. Inside her home, all glass walls and warm lights, Luis felt like he didn't belong, but Ava treated him like an equal, like a man who mattered. She cleaned his cuts with gentle hands. He watched her silently, memorizing the softness of her face up close. At one point, she asked, "Why did you run toward danger for me?" Luis shrugged. "Because you're a person." Ava froze. Most people saw her as a privilege, a connection, a daughter of status, not as a person. And something shifted in her heart. Something she wasn't supposed to feel. That night didn't make them fall in love. It only made walking away impossible. Thanks for viewing. This is the beginning of the Unequal Love Stories journey of 2026. Please stick around.